Okay, so today you are going to learn about writing an equation if you're given the vertex and a point for a quadratic equation. And the first thing to realize is there are different forms of quadratic equations. One of them is called the vertex form. We talked about it in the last lesson, but it goes of the form like this, where the vertex is listed as designated as HK, the coordinate point of it, and then it shows up in the equation over here, HK. So an example might be something like this, where you see, there's a height of and distance of a cannonball that shot out, it goes up and it starts coming back down after a while, and you're given 2 points, right? You're given like 1 point here and 1 point where it reaches the maximum height or the vertex. And based upon that, you can actually come up with an equation that lets you know what the height of the ball is at any point based upon the distance away from the cannon that it was shot out at. That's just an example. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. The assignment that you have is right here. It shows you a chart of 2 different points. The vertex is at 5, 4, the top point, right? And another point is 6, 3. So those are 2 points that you're given. So what would be an equation that models that path, that quadratic equation? Well, the first thing is to write out the vertex form. So that's going to be this one right here. You just write that out. Okay, so I'm going to write that here. The generic formula, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Okay, step number 2, you're going to substitute in the actual values for h and k into this equation. So what are those actual values? Remember, the vertex is the x value is considered the h, or the horizontal value, and k is like the height. So that is from the vertex, right? So the vertex is at 5, 4. So the x is 5, so we're going to write y equals, oops, my bad. Yeah, so y equals a times, parentheses, x and minus. It's always going to be x minus. Now, if x is positive, then it's just x minus 5 squared. If x would have been negative, we would have had to have gone x minus negative 5, and that would have ended up becoming plus because when you subtract the negative. But here, it's just x minus 5 squared. And what's our k? Our k is at 4, so plus 4. Now that we have that, what you really need to notice here to understand this is that if we want the full equation, what are we missing? We're missing the a. Remember, a quadratic equation has 3 parameters. It has the number for the horizontal, the x value of the vertex, which is 5. It has the y value of the vertex, which is 4, right? But it also has a value of a that lets us know how wide apart it is. As a changes, it stretches out or gets steeper. We need the a. How do we get it? Well, the key is to realize we can take this other point right here, which has another x and y value, and we can put it into the equation for the x here and the y right there. So that's what we're going to do next. Is step 3 is going to substitute that in, and I'll do that in red so that it stands out a little bit more. How about that? So now instead of y, I'm going to take this y here and I'm going to put 3 equals a. We still don't know what it is. Okay, I've written out the whole equation except for the x and the y. So let me go ahead and make this red so it stands out. Oh, come on, what are you doing? It's very annoying sometimes. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so the x value is the 6, so I'm going to put that right there, okay? And what do I have? Well, I have basically an equation here that I can simplify, right? These are all numbers. The only thing that's a variable is that a, which is what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify. And what does that become? Well, let's see. I do that in blue. Okay, so there we go. So we have 3 equals. I still have a. 6 minus 5, you do the parentheses first, that's 1. 1 squared, well, that's no problem. That's just going to be 1. So a times 1 plus 4. Okay, and then I go through my regular steps. Subtract 4 from both sides. Subtract 4 from both sides. This becomes -1 equals 1a. This 4 goes away. Divide both sides by 1, and we get -1 is equal to a. So what's the final equation? Final equation is y equals -1 parenthesis x minus 5 squared plus 4. And that's the final equation. And now that I've got the equation, I can figure out for any value of x, if like, for example, x is 3, I can plug, or 4, or whatever, I can plug in a 4 in there, and I can figure out if that's my 4, and I want to know what my y is. I can do it on the chart, but I can also do it with the equation. I can figure out what the y value is that goes with it by plugging it into that equation. But that's the equation that models a parabola that goes through these 2 points right here. So if you've got the vertex and you have any other point, you can go through this process right here, which is what we're going to do for the homework assignment, to figure out what the equation is that goes through those 2 points. So that's it.